In this demo, we're going to talk about dual axis banding on charts. Let's take a look at what I mean. So let's take a look at this chart. We have oil production, that's the black line, and then we have these gray shaded bars behind it. That's the target output. We can see in 1999 that we exceeded the target output, but in general, we were under. This could be a very useful chart to understand what your goals are versus your performance. The gray shaded region would be your target, and the black region is what you're currently doing. You could probably see how this could be adapted. Let's talk about how to make it. The first thing I'm going to do is actually move this out of the way, just so I have a little bit more room. So I'm going to select D5, all the way to D9, and then I'm going to insert a new column chart. Now, I don't really like how this says 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to Select Data, and I'm going to change those category axis labels, because it's tacky without those. So I'll hit OK. That changed the labels. Now the question is, how do I get this target output on it? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this target output. I'll hit Control C. I can select within the plot area, and I'll hit Control V to paste it onto the chart. Okay, so that sort of gets us what we want. The next thing I'm going to do is go to Format Data Series. So what I did was I right-clicked this orange bar, and I selected Format Data Series. Now what I'm going to do next is, and you'll see why I call this dual axis, so I'm going to select this blue. This is the blue one. This is the one I want to be in front. I'm going to put that on the secondary axis, like this. And now you see that they overlap. The next thing I can do is select the chart that's behind it. Now, if you are having trouble selecting the chart behind it, you can always click within the plot area, go up to the Format tab, in Excel 2013 and later, in 2010 and earlier, it's usually the Layout tab, and you can select the series that you're interested in. In this case, I'm interested in the target output. Now with that selected, I can just right-click and go to Format Data Series. In here, we're going to make the gap width smaller. Now you can see that this is actually creating the effect we like. But the colors are kind of a little weird. So what I'll do is with those selected, I'll go up to the Shape Fill, and I'll make that a lighter color. And then I'll click on the blue, and I'll make that a darker color. And you can play with this. You can make it so that they're not as thick. It looks like I need to go the other way. Whatever you really want. I think in my case, I wanted to make them touching like this, and I think that makes a cool effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of formatting. I kind of want these numbers to be a little bit bigger, like that. Make the one over here a little bit bigger. And then I'll select these lines and delete them. And then I'll select these lines, and making sure I've just selected the lines and hit the delete button. And now over here, since we created a dual axis, so we used another axis to create this banding effect, I don't really need this axis, so I'm going to select it and I'll hit delete. And then from there, it's just really a process of formatting. I'll leave it to you to format the rest. Now, before I move on, I just want to point out here, charts like this are very useful because instead of just plotting one thing, we can sort of plot how something is doing within the context of something else. And you'll see that theme going through the charts as we move forward.